Jules, Mentars, e-ther, essence, and hollow buildings. Ladies and gents, just as you think the Tiny Brain Tycoon sim has run out of steam, well, they've managed to do more dumb shit. And this new dumb shit exceeds any expectations we could have ever had. For those of you who aren't caught up on Earth 2, it's basically a Findom simulator where you make it rain on Shane and you get absolutely bugger all back in return for your loving gift. Somehow Daddy Shane, the hype train conductor, keeps managing to hype people up about giving away their hard-earned cash for basic features of a map tool that are already publicly available to them. Stay tuned and I'll get back to this point later because this is truly mind-blowing to say the least. Last Friday, the Earth 2 team announced their latest update, and we're going to take a look through it now. I don't think there's any way to prepare you for the stupidity you're about to witness. There's a lot of FUD in the Earth 2 community at the moment, and for those of you who don't understand what FUD stands for, it's fear, uncertainty, doubt. Nobody really cares what sort of game this is going to become. People just want to see a return on their investment. And as prices have stagnated recently, you're seeing a lot of people jumping ship. In fact, a lot of people in the Discord are saying they're jumping ship because of stagnating prices. And the people who do care about what the game is going to become and what sort of playable thing they will get their hands on, well, they are the ones jumping ship, and I think we're about to see a lot more people join them relatively soon. First up, Jules. Jewels are an item that players can buy and sell on the Earth 2 marketplace called the Bazaar. Every sale on the marketplace has a transaction fee that goes to the creators of Earth 2. Now you might ask, well, what can you do with jewels? Absolutely nothing. In the same vein as every other update, the creators make money while you get absolutely nothing. I'm being serious. At the time of gems being announced, they are a digital paperweight. So honestly, we might as well move on to the next update they announced. Mentars, e-ther, essence, and hollow building. Before we start, I just want to suggest that you guys read this article after the video. This is whack. It doesn't even seem like it was written by a native English speaker. It reads like an AliExpress listing for a pair of $5 Yeezys. Okay, let's continue. Recent updates have been pushed through for the benefit of our community. However, we realise we can provide additional information surrounding some of these updates, and we are providing this note to bring our players up to speed with some of our release features. Oh boy. The Mentar is a core Earth 2 entity and technological structure which can only manifest and function on virtual land that has been claimed or is owned by a player. Mentars are essential for the gameplay in Earth 2 as they are the only way a player can presently collect essence. Mentars are able to detect and harness any e-ther, more on e-ther below, that exists on a player's property from time to time, and if consumed quickly enough, can convert part of that e-ther into essence. Mentars are normally the first structure on a player's land, and once instantiated will always remain in place so long as that property remains whole and is not subdivided, even if it moves. Mentars also have the special ability to harness power from jewels. This is activated when a player slots a jewel into the Mentar. The number of available slots on a Mentar is largely determined by the size of the property the Mentar is attached to for now. Slotting jewels into your Mentar will show a number of positive effects on a player's property over time. Oh boy, what can I say about this? For starters, these Mentars look like the metaverse equivalent of a love egg, and all I can assume is it's going to vibrate essence out of the ground, ribbed for her pleasure probably. And not to mention, these aren't even usable in the game. These don't currently do anything. It's another non-update to sound like an update. They don't give you e-ther. They don't give you resources. These Mentars give a modification to an ability that isn't in the game. Why is anyone going to be excited about this? It's no wonder people are jumping ship. And already this just seems like layers on top of layers on top of layers of pure RNG. There's nothing here that's going to excite anyone unless they are hardcore focused on a return on their profit. e-ther. e-ther is an unstable, difficult to detect and somewhat mysterious matter that spawns from player-owned properties inside Earth 2. Theory has it that when virtual land is claimed and a player's presence is recorded in the very binary of that land, the land itself commits to improving its own environment to the will of the player who owns it. e-ther cannot really be captured or stored, but it can be detected by that Mentar can convert into the very storable and collectible form of essence. Again, when I say this seems like an AliExpress listing, I really mean it. It's a difficult read. Enough is not yet known about e-ther, but it would seem that not all e-ther is identical, which is evident in the varying e-ther to essence yields that typically don't convert the same amounts. We know that when captured early enough, e-ther always yields some essence, but never more essence than e-ther. Oh, Christ. So, essence is their cryptocurrency that they're introducing. And there's something kind of worrying about this, because fundamentally a cryptocurrency is programmed into the blockchain to work at a set way. None of this random RNG that seems to be layered in here. I can guarantee the upper bounds of this RNG is an overhead that's just going to Earth 2's pocket, the same as the transaction fee on the bazaar. It's just another cash grab update, and it doesn't make any sense. There's nothing playable here. There's nothing to excite anybody here. It's just Earth 2 taking more money for less stuff. And this is going to be a reoccurring theme later in this video, because there's something even more disgusting. Essence. Unlike essence, e-ther can be collected and stored. Essence is believed to be some kind of a precursor of matter, since by using it, a player will be able to produce resources more or less out of thin air, yet only from those resources which exist on the player's properties. What? I don't get this. You're saying it's out of thin air, but only out of resources off a player's property. So is it out of thin air, or is it off resources off of a player's property? Because it can't be both. Essence allows a user to reproduce the resources without exploiting them, and it's crucial. What? Essence allows a user to reproduce these resources without exploiting them, and is the crucial basis for player property resource production. I can't be the only one reading this and just seeing word soup on my screen. Okay, and there is actually a piece in here that's an update to Jules. They weren't sure how to assuage people's fears that gems were utterly fucking pointless. So instead of making them useful, they've added lore. And this is where things start to get utterly bizarre. Like bonkers, batshit crazy. So let's take a look. Jules, which began spawning randomly inside Earth 2 a number of weeks ago, are starting to prove useful by improving the Mentar's ability to detect e-ther and convert it into essence, which, by the way, guys, you can't currently do. In general, and amongst other things, Jules can improve the e-ther detection rate, especially on larger properties where the distance between Mentar and some places on the property is large. Oh my god, this just reminds me of a video I've seen that was like some sort of Chinese game translation for an intro.
Alright then, buddy. I'm going to shit yourself.
Christ, man. Get somebody to do this that isn't sniffing glue for the rest of the day, please. Once the ability to produce resources from essence is available, Jules will also serve a part in the effectiveness of certain resource production by resource production giving proactive play. There's no punctuation in this. Jules will also have a key part in the effectiveness of certain resource production, giving proactive players even greater yield from their properties. Meanwhile, the UPG, Unidentifiable Player Group, are working on the technology to craft a sort of higher tier jewel from the lower tier jewels which they are hoping will result in the ability of a more powerful Jewel that surpasses anything that presently seems possible inside Earth 2. What does that even mean? What is the UPG? You've never mentioned this before. An identifiable player group. Who are they? Is this lore that's been added, or is this a group of actual real people? Don't know. Could not tell you at all. But it's okay. It does not even matter what the UPG even means, because the next part of this article is far more ridiculous than even the previous ones. Hollow buildings. Hollow buildings. A new level of creativity was recently released inside Earth 2, named Hollow Buildings, HBs for short. This quiet release, which allows players to create hollow buildings using the Earth 2 developed Hollow Building editor, has more to it than meets the eye. I can definitely guarantee that, because I'm going to reveal quite a bit about this in a minute. Hollow buildings were originally researched and developed to allow players the ability to plot out future virtual constructions, weighing up size, look, aesthetic feel, and more based on the hollow buildings they are able to create the blueprints for. The UPG soon discovered the energy required to place and display a single hollow building inside Earth 2 could also be used for the benefit of the player, both now and well into the future, giving more purpose and utility to hollow buildings than originally thought. Right, looking at this, the UPG seems to be some sort of lore thing that they've just thrown in and like, here you go guys, here's a reason for our stupid decision. Do you guys want to see what hollow buildings are? I'm sure you can't wait. Earth 2 hollow buildings are in fact a way of dropping 3D geometry onto the map tiles that you own. That sounds great. Right now I'm showing you some footage on screen of a video made by Meet Dave, an Earth 2 uploader. As you can see, it is very simple geometry that is just displayed on the tiles that you own. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look awful. What if I told you that this feature is actually already available in Mapbox, the tool they are using to display their map? Yeah. It's called the 3D building layer, and you can enable it in Mapbox. They haven't made this, but what makes this truly egregious is the fact you have to pay for it. You have to pay Earth dollars, which, don't forget, is 1-to-1 tethered to real life USD. You have to pay a fee per tile that your building takes up. Now remember, players already had to buy these tiles with real money in the first place. And now, players have to pay a fee to place their hollow building on tiles using a feature that is a toggle box in Mapbox. These updates have gotten progressively worse. The developers show no signs of releasing anything that does or will represent any sort of a game. Even public supporters such as Earth 2 Meta, The Bowl Combo, Meet Dave, and plenty more are publicly criticising these changes. The land prices have stagnated and there's no new blood entering the sacrificial pool. Earth 2 requires new people to come in and, as the kids would say, take a fat L, so that the wheel can keep turning. If that doesn't happen, the wheel stops turning, and then the people that lose are Earth 2 as a company, and the people who've already invested. If nobody wants their land, it doesn't go up in price, it goes down. The only way this could get any worse for Earth 2 is if a picture surfaced of Shane and the gang worshipping a picture of Bill Cosby. Ladies and gents, as with every video I make on Earth 2, I don't think it's going to be the last. It seems like they are determined to churn out nonsense at a horrifying rate. This is the end of the video, but I will see you in the next one. Make sure to falcon punch the like button and drop kick the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined. It all helps the algorithm. If you're watching this as it premieres, we're going to be live over on Twitch. We're going to be playing some games and chilling out, so drop in and say hi.